Hello and welcome, Joseph here. In this video, we'll be taking a look at Anchorhead Coffee's Ethiopia Aricha, one of the coffees in this Coffee Lovers Box number 2. Now, if this is the first video that you're coming to, I highly recommend you check out the overview video of the Coffee Lovers Box. If you're on the order page for the Coffee Lovers Box, you can see that video at the top. If you're on YouTube, you can get links to the bottom. You can also get a link to the order page where you can see all the videos as well. I'm really excited to bring the work of Anchorhead Coffee to you in this second Coffee Lovers Box. The guys at Anchorhead are really awesome. They do fantastic work. They have one of the best cafes in the city here. We also had their story in Coffee Lovers magazine in the early years. They started a couple years ago focusing primarily on cold brew. They have since expanded and they roast coffee. They still do wonderful cold brew work, and it's just awesome to work with them. Really excited to show you this coffee in the box today. Now, this coffee is probably quite a bit different than a lot of coffees that you're used to. So you'll see here, I call this Blueberry Cupcakes. This is a natural processed Ethiopian coffee. So it's very strong in fruit-like flavors, in particular blueberries. For me, we'll see that their description is grown between 1950 and 2100 meters. This coffee presents notes of blackberry syrup, marshmallow, blueberry, and sparkling kiwi notes. So there's definitely some interesting berry flavors that can float in and around. For me, it's strongly in blueberries, but in addition, it has this nice base of rich, like cake sweetness. So it's not like a tea, like a lot of Ethiopian coffees. They can be light, they can be delicate and fruity and like tea. To me, this is more like a coffee that has like good fruit flavor to it. If you had the last Coffee Lovers Box, we had a coffee with a bit of fruitness to it. This is much more, and I think this makes a really wonderful contrast to the other two coffees. I think that no matter what your experience is with coffee, it's really worthwhile to taste what a coffee like this is like, because it gives you a really interesting perspective on what is possible, on just like what coffee is capable of being like. But on top of that, Blueberry Cupcakes, come on, it's delicious, right? I love smelling these kinds of coffees because you can really smell the blueberries. Like it's almost like walking through a wild blueberry field. But you can also, with this one in particular, taste the cupcakes. So I want to say it's like walking through a wild blueberry field while also walking next to a bakery. Does that work? A bakery in a wild blueberry field. It's wonderfully, wonderfully aromatic. We're gonna go ahead and brew this up on the Kalita wave. This coffee brews very well on any method that you choose. You can go with like the Kalita wave like I am, or any kind of hand pour over method, any kind of auto drip machine. You can go with a French press. You can do this on a mocha pot. You can do this in an espresso machine. I can go on and on and on. You can do this as cold brew and of course as ice pour over, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit. But for now, what we're going to do is we're going to dive in. We're going to brew this on the Kalita wave, and I'm going to tell you what it's like and talk a bit about some of the other experiences as well. So we'll be right back with the brew. All right, we're back. Just brewed this Ethiopia Aricha by Anchorhead. That first aroma, it's really like wild berry and sweetness. I think some of the fun things about the coffees that I've chosen for this particular box is that while they do have really interesting and delicious tastes, they're also not like wildly complex. You're not going to be digging around to find the flavors. Like when you smell this, you smell wild berries. As I was smelling the whole bean before, it was wild berries and like bakery, like cupcakes, that sort of thing. And as we taste it, might still be a little hot, but let's have a go. Like there's berries right up front. And sweetness. Like it's wild blueberry and cupcakey sweetness. I mean, that's just delicious. If you've never had, I just want to say this right now, this is one of the kind of coffees that when I first started getting into coffee, and one of the kind of coffees that really kind of set me on the path with Coffee Lovers magazine. When I first got into coffee and I started, I ran across coffees like this, and my reaction was, I would taste it and coffee can taste like that? That's like It's the best reaction. It's the best feeling too, because suddenly just the idea of what coffee should or can be just completely changes. And you see that, yeah, it can taste like fruit, it can taste like sugar and honey and cake and chocolate and toffee and all of these really fun and delicious flavors. And you better be careful because you may get addicted to exploring coffee like I have. There's even a bit of chocolatiness in there. That's just that, like I said, it's not like tea. This has like really good, sweet, rich body to it. And that's cupcakes. It's fruit and cupcakes. So good. But because of that body, you can easily add milk and sugar to this, and it's gonna taste fantastic. And also because of the lightness, the brightness, the fruit, the sweetness, when you brew this on ice, it just comes off like fruit juice. It's magical. As I was tasting and trying to decide on coffees for this box, I had this one and I kept going back to it, and I kept going back to it. And when I kept going back to try more of it after tasting all the other ones, I knew that, you know, this just had to be in here. It's just one of those coffees where you just wanna keep tasting it. So delicious. So like I said with the other coffees, when you get the Coffee Lovers box, when you receive it or shortly before you receive it, you'll get some straightforward brewing guidelines from me, and that's going to include a video on a really simple way for you to make iced coffee. I will also include some cold brewing guidelines as well. I think this coffee in particular really wants to be brewed hot onto ice. And the reason for that is there's a lot of bright and sweet flavors, and like the berry kind of flavors. You really want the heat to bring that out in the brew. But when you do it directly onto ice, it cools really fast and it just becomes sweet and fruity, and it's like fruit juice. So that is Anchorhead Coffee's Ethiopia Aricha. It's one of the 3 coffees in the Coffee Lovers box. You can get a single Coffee Lovers box for $22, and that includes free shipping to the US. You can subscribe monthly and save a little bit. You can get it for $20 a month. That includes free shipping in the US. One of the very good reasons to subscribe, of course, is to just not miss out on some of the other boxes. Sometimes I'll include coffees from some of these roasters. These roasters can be really small, and that's one of the reasons why they produce such good work. But sometimes there's a limited amount of coffee available. If you're subscribed, you're absolutely guaranteed to get a box. And if you're not, you want to make sure you order before any possible limitations come into play. Also, do keep an eye on the timer at the top of the page. When that timer hits 0, orders are closed. We'll be roasting all of the coffee at the same time and getting all the boxes together and shipped out at the same time so that the coffee gets to each and every one of you as fresh as it possibly can. If you have any questions, in the lower right corner of your screen, you'll see a little chat bar. If I'm online, you can chat with me directly. You can also leave a message there and I can get back to you. You can also contact me by email at support@coffeeloversmag.com. Any questions you have on the box or anything, feel free to send a message my way. Thank you so much for watching. I know you're going to enjoy this Coffee Lovers box number 2. I'm really excited to bring it and all the coffees to you this month.